Hello and welcome to the Wrestling Talk Show with Rhys Jones and
Sean Smith, and this is our AEW Wrestling Talk Show as we bring you our reactions to AEW's Fight for the Fallen.
Fight for the Fallen took place this past Saturday in Jacksonville,
Florida at Daly's Place.
Fight for the Fallen, as you can kind of say by its name, its proceeds would go towards the victims of gun violence, hence the name Fight for the Fallen.
Yes, and I think that was a very, very nice touch.
We have 9 matches in total here, plus a certain segment which was worth being discussed.
Yes, we'll start off with our first pre-show match.
In our first pre-show match, Sonny Kiss would defeat Peter Alvon
In around 5 minutes and 10 seconds.
Then in the second pre-show match, we had a tag team match in which
Bea Priestley teamed up with Sako Nakajima, who defeated Dr. Britt Baker, DMD, and Rio.
So then after that we went to the main card.
Oh yes.
Which opened up with a 6-man tag team match.
As the team of MJF teaming up with Sammy Guevara and the newly turned heel Shawn Spears,
aka Ty Dillinger.
No, you shouldn't say that, copyright. As they took on the team of Darby Allin, Jimmy Havoc, and Joey Janela.
The second match featured Brandy Rhodes being accompanied by Awesome Khan, aka Kama,
Again, copyright.
defeating Ali.
In what was a very good matchup, which was around 11 minutes long.
You nearly said 11 seconds.
Nearly.
Then we had the three-way or triple threat tag team match to decide who would advance to All Out for the opportunity to get a first round bye in the tournament that will decide the AEW Tag Team Champions.
The winners of the match were the Dark Order, consisting of Evil Uno and Stu Grayson, as they beat the team of Jellicoe and Jack Evans, and another tag team by the name of A Boy and His Dinosaur, by the name of Jungle Boy and Luchasaurus.
What a weird name for the tag team.
I know.
Then we got Adam Page
Going up against Kip Sabian, with Hangman Adam Page picking up the win. However, something happened after the end of this match.
Yes, it's no surprise that at All Out, well, it's no secret, I should say, at All Out, Adam Page will be taking on Chris Jericho to decide the AEW champion.
This is when a masked individual jumps into the ring and attacks Hangman Adam Page and hits Adam Page with a code breaker.
And accidentally, you want to say, I say accidentally, busts him open.
Hangman Adam Page. But then later in the night, he took part in a controversial segment.
Yes, for the first time in 20 years, in other words, for the first time since he's been employed by the WWE.
A company that we shouldn't mention on this show.
Chris Jericho did essentially what was on WWE a Talk is Jericho segment, that was completely unscripted.
And we do mean completely unscripted.
So, then the next match is again a tag team match.
The Lucha Brothers defeated the Lucha Brothers in Pentagon Jr. and Rey Fenix defeated SoCal Uncensored, Frankie Kazarian, and Scorpio Sky with a certain Fallen Angel in that corner after around 15 minutes.
Never mind Fight for the Fallen, this should have been called Tag Team for the Fallen.
But then, this match, some people would call it a dream match.
As Chima took on the widely popular star from Japan, Kenny Omega.
And the winner of the match was Kenny Omega.
Would there be any other one?
And the main event was the Young Bucks of Matt and Nick Jackson defeating the Brotherhood of Cody and Dustin Rhodes.
No, correction, Cody and Goldust.
Again, copyright, shouldn't be saying that. But after this match, the entire AEW locker room emptied out, and making his first TV appearance was the AEW owner, Tony Khan.
Well, he may make a few appearances. He's not going to be a Vince McMahon type character.
No.
Unless, of course, he decides to do a screw job.
Which we haven't had yet in AEW.
As after this main event, there was a huge amount of respect being shown, which would briefly carry on to at least one match in our next little segment as we switch companies in a moment.
To Extreme Rules.
So join us in a few moments where we will switch companies to the WWE.
Faceless, we were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad. If we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad. And we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. We're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. They say that I'm reckless because I'm relentless. They spit on my face and crush on my name and taking my life in vengeance. Yeah, you could try and blame us and try and take what's sacred, but we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. Somebody sound the alarm. Fire was set in the dark. It's time that you know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. It doesn't matter if the world is gone mad. If we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. The sky is falling and the world is gone mad. And we sing our songs and we just hold on, yeah. So if you're running, stop running. One life, one chance, start living. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless. We were born for greatness. We're that you know. It doesn't matter if the world is going mad, if we just hold on, if we just hold on, yeah. Sing it louder just to let the world know. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. We were born for greatness. No, we're not nameless, we're not faceless, we were born for greatness. Red alert, John, shine a light down on the front lines of my mind now. Riding my time on the high ground. Blinded, but I'm still alive. Shout, oh! They said we're lucky to have got this far, and that it's not worth fighting for. The words are written on the wall. Come on and fight back. We'll start it over again. We'll take it right back from the ones we're again. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. Take a chance now and draw a line in the sand. It's in our hands now. No living with regret. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. Threading what's right on my heel. Sweat on my skin, pins and needles. Forget it all right, can you feel that this is our time? Make it real, shout, oh! They said we're lucky to have got this far, and that it's not worth fighting for. The words are written on the wall. Come on and fight back. We'll start it over again. We'll take it right back from the ones we're again. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. Take a chance now and draw a line in the sand. It's in our hands now. No living with regret. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. They said we're lucky to have got this far, and that it's not worth fighting for. The words are written on the wall. Come on and fight back. We'll start it over again. We'll take it right back from the ones we're again. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. Take a chance now and draw a line in the sand. It's in our hands now. No living with regret. It's time to rise up, even though they left us for dead. This is our last stand. This is our last stand.
If you smell what the rock is cooking. The rock says, the rock says. The rock says, the rock.
understand, they talk to me. You got your rules and your religion, all designed to keep you safe. But when rules start getting broken, you start questioning your faith. I have a voice that is my savior, hates to love and loves to hate. I have a voice that has the knowledge and the power to your fate. I hear voices crying, I see heroes dying, I taste blood that's drying, I feel tension rising. I hear voices in my head, they counsel me, they understand, they talk to me, they talk to me.
And we are back with WWE's now Extreme Rules.
The one night of the year where the rulebook gets thrown out of the window.
Or half the rulebook gets thrown out the window.
So Extreme Rules came at you from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania, at the Wells Fargo Center.
Yeah. They decided to add at least 2 extra matches from when we did this show last week.
Yes, a few matches have been added on.
One of which was added to the pre-show, along with the one we suspected was going to take place on the pre-show.
We'll start with our first pre-show match, which literally got added like last minute.
Yes, Finn Balor defended the Intercontinental Championship against the King of Rock, the King of Strong Style, and former United States and NXT champion Shinsuke Nakamura.
And this match was around 7 minutes and 40 seconds.
Yes, and after a back and forth contest, it was unfortunately the end of a 3-month title reign when Finn Balor missed the coup de grace, which allowed Nakamura to hit the Kinshasa to pick up a 3 count and his first Intercontinental Championship in WWE, but not his first Intercontinental Championship overall.
But Finn Balor's night wasn't done then.
What you're talking about happened on Raw, not on the Extreme Rules.
On Raw, yeah.
The second match on the pre-show was, as we suspected, the singles match for the pre-show Cruiserweight Championship.
Cruiserweight Championship.
When Drake Maverick defended against Tony Nese successfully.
Yes, so Drew Gulak defended his championship against Tony Nese.
Successfully as well, which means he remains Cruiserweight Champion.
Now, on to the main card.
Yes, so we begin with a no-holds-barred tag team match.
Which me and Jonesy were not expecting.
This match featured the team of Shane McMahon, or Shane Bat McMahon, I'll explain that in a minute, and Drew McIntyre going against the team of Roman Reigns and The Undertaker.
This match was around 17 minutes.
This match, for the most part, had Taker and Reigns in control. There were a few moments when Shane and Drew got the upper hand, mostly when Drew was involved in the match. However, there was a little bit of, let's say, outside interference.
From Elias.
Yes, as Undertaker was about to hit the last slide on Shane McMahon through one of the announce tables, I believe was the plan, when Elias decided to hit Undertaker with a guitar. Considering that Elias has some beef with The Undertaker following what happened the night after WrestleMania, and he's aligned himself with Shane McMahon as well, I can't say I'm surprised. Roman Reigns tried to get Elias off of him, only to be hit with a Claymore by Drew McIntyre.
Ouch.
Then Undertaker was hit with one.
Yes.
Then they put Undertaker on the announce table as Shane McMahon went up to the top rope to perform his diving elbow.
Through the announce table.
In the ring, after that, they put a trash can onto the Undertaker and would go for the coast to coast.
In which he connected.
However, before Shane McMahon could go for the pin, he must have forgotten who he was in the ring with, because the Undertaker sat up.
Right in front of Shane McMahon.
We had chokes, which was led by choke slams on Shane and Elias.
But then explain to us what happened with a certain instance.
Well, I'll get to that in just a second. After the choke slam on Elias, Undertaker was signaling that the end was here and was going to go for the tombstone, only for Drew McIntyre to appear behind him and attempt another Claymore, only to be intercepted with a spear from Roman Reigns. After that, Roman Reigns grabbed Shane and literally fed him, or at least attempted to feed him, to The Undertaker for a tombstone. However, on the first attempt, whether it was the position that Shane was when he was thrown towards The Undertaker, or something else, he was not able to be lifted up properly, so they had to rework the move. But the tombstone was hit in the end, and the 3 count was awarded, giving the win to The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. Following this match, there was a signal or sign of respect between The Undertaker and Roman Reigns. Are you going senile in your old age, Taker? Do you remember what this guy did to you 2 years ago at WrestleMania?
Well, by the looks of it, it seems that the Undertaker might have put that in the past.
Our second match saw the Revival defend the Raw Tag Team Championships against the Usos.
And this match was around 12 minutes and 35 seconds long.
We're not going to spend too much time on this.
Nah.
It was basically a back and forth tag team match, as we expected, but ended with a shot machine from the Revival, which means that they are still the Raw Tag Team Champions.
But now, it's time for our next match, and it was a debut match for Aleister Black.
Again, I'm not going to spend too much time on this, simply because this match came out of nowhere, like a certain move.
Yes. Aleister Black's opponent was Cesaro.
Yes, just a bit. Cesaro would go for the neutralizer, and then this is at the end of the match, only for Black to be countered into a Black Mass and get the win.
Pretty much, and KOing Cesaro's lights out.
The next match would be the 2-on-1 handicap match for the SmackDown Women's Championship between defending champion Bayley and the two superstars who would attempt to become co-champions, Nikki Cross and Alexa Bliss. Side note, this apparently was not the original plan.
What was the original plan?
Well, I'm not 100% sure, but from what I've heard backstage, or was able to hear report-wise, the idea to turn this into a handicap match came due to the fact that Alexa Bliss was feeling ill for the past week or so. So they put Nikki Cross into the match so that she wouldn't have to do too much work.
But this handicap match was around 10 minutes and 30 seconds long.
Yes. Bayley managed to counter the Twisted Bliss by raising her knees again.
Yep.
And then get the diving elbow top, which by the way looks 10 times better performed by Bayley than was performed by Shane McMahon.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
Onto Nikki Cross to retain the SmackDown Women's Championship, and then on SmackDown she managed to set up her match for SummerSlam as well, but we'll get into that in a couple of weeks.
Indeed we will. Now, this next match was a last monster standing match.
Don't you mean last man standing?
Between Braun Strowman and Bobby Lashley.
Take into account that Strowman had been electrocuted through
an LED board
a few weeks before.
These two men brawled throughout the arena.
Well, it's where they always do in last man standing matches.
Yes.
However, after brawling back and forth, it was a power slam from an elevated position that allowed Braun Strowman to win the match after making it back to his feet before the count of 10. Now, I don't want to say anything, but to me this has Paul Heyman written all over it.
Same.
Trying to repair the damage that has been done to Braun Strowman. Now, who wants a triple threat tag team match?
Me.
For the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, as Daniel Bryan and Rowan would defend against Heavy Machinery, Otis and Tucker, and New Day members, Big E and Xavier Woods.
And this match was around 14 minutes long exactly.
Now, here we had Heavy Machinery. It came close at Money in the Bank. No, it wasn't Money in the Bank.
During this matchup,
they came close to winning the titles at Stomping Grounds, only for them to slightly come up short. They put up a good performance in this match, but in my opinion, they're still not ready. So,
But overall, we have some winners.
yes, because in the end of the match, Daniel Bryan would attempt a backflip to avoid Biggie in the corner. However, he caught Daniel Bryan, and the New Day were able to perform Midnight Hour to get the pinfall and become 4-time SmackDown Tag Team Champions with 6-time champions overall.
But either way, congratulations to the New Day of Big E and Xavier Woods.
Of course, at least at the moment, this would mean that all 3 members of the New Day would hold championship gold.
This next match would be for the United States Championship.
Yeah,
As Ricochet defended his championship against the newly turned heel AJ Styles with a really newly reunited club of Luke Gallows and Carl Anderson at ringside.
this match was what we call a dream match.
Yes, pretty much.
We had a somersault performed for a near fall from Ricochet.
Yeah.
We had a Brainbuster performed by Styles for a near fall. We had
everything in
we
this
had
match.
the Shooting Star Press performed by Ricochet. However, unfortunately, the numbers game came into effect here. Because at the end, as Ricochet was going for his finishing maneuver, the referee was distracted by Gallows and Anderson, allowing AJ Styles to perform the super, as I'm calling it, Styles Clash from the middle rope to win his 3rd United States Championship. And unfortunately, it means that at least for this title reign, Ricochet was basically used as a transitional champion.
But now, let's quickly gloss over this match, because there wasn't really much to discuss about this match.
Yes, the next match was Kevin Owens versus Dolph Ziggler. Since Kevin Owens decided to go face and basically tell Ziggler to stop complaining about it should have been me, blah 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 blah. So they both come down to the ring. Ziggler decides to get into the face of Kevin Owens.
And then what does old Dolph go and do? Slap Kevin Owens in the face.
Only to be on the receiving end of a stunner 1-2-3 match over.
And then Kevin Owens will then grab a microphone and drop another pipe bomb on Shane McMahon.
Now, speaking of Shane McMahon again, on SmackDown, he didn't just botch the tombstone, whether that was without a 2-person move, so whose fault was that, we don't know. But he managed to botch a simple Stone Cold Stunner.
Yeah, on this past episode of Tuesday Night SmackDown. Now, this next match was for the WWE Championship as Kofi Kingston put his title on the line against Raw's Samoa Joe.
Yes, again, Raw Superstar going for a SmackDown title.
Wildcard Raw.
I've constantly said, since it was first introduced, or McMahon said it was a brilliant idea, I did not have a problem with the wildcard rule. To a certain degree, I still don't, but it is getting ridiculous.
It is, but either way, we'll leave that for another time.
But during this match, we had Samoa Joe crush Kofi Kingston's hand into steel steps.
Yes.
We had Samoa Joe power slam Kingston for a near fall. And as you can tell, Samoa Joe did mostly dominate this match. Kingston got a SOS in for a near fall. But as Samoa Joe was going for the cleaner cuts, he did manage to get it on briefly, but he was knocked or managed to get out of it. And as he was thrown against the ropes, Kofi managed to hit the Trouble in Paradise, which would be enough to keep Samoa Joe down for a 3 count, and Kofi Kingston will retain the WWE Championship, which means that Kofi Kingston's title reign will last a minimum of 4 months.
Yes, but now it's time for our main event of the evening.
That's a loose word, and we'll explain now in a briefly why. This was the last chance winner takes all mixed tag team Extreme Rules match for both the Universal and Raw Women's Championship, when real life couple and champions Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch would defend their titles against TGI Fridays waiter Baron Corbin
Baron Corbin.
and the Southern lass Lacey Evans.
This match was 19 minutes long, almost 20 minutes.
And let's just say it was full of weapons. We had Corbin hit a DDT onto a steel chair.
Yep.
A
We had a frog splash from Seth Rollins onto Baron Corbin.
We had a moonsault from Evans onto Lynch. There were tables set up outside. We had candlesticks.
All over the place, but then comes down to one of the most shocking moments I've ever seen in a ring.
Well, we kind of suspected the WWE pushing what is considered to be PG, that this may be a possibility, but it was also crossing the line.
When Baron Corbin hit an end of days onto the man, Becky Lynch.
However, this would snap a furious rage into Seth Rollins, and he would destroy Baron Corbin with a candlestick and hit him with not 1, not 2, but 3 stomps.
You get the 1, 2, 3.
Which means that, at least at the minute, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, well, Becky Lynch more so now, and I'll explain why in a minute, is done with Lacey Evans.
But then...
Yes, but then, Paul Heyman had teased it and announced that it would happen. But Brock Lesnar's music would hit, and down comes the Beast in the Bank.
He thinks his briefcase is a boombox.
Comes down to the ring. Seth attempts to fight him off, but is immediately introduced to Suplex City.
Yes, about approximately 3 times to Suplex City.
And then, the contracted cast in. There's an F5, a 3 count, and Brock Lesnar is once again the reigning, defending, undisputed Universal Champion.
And, yes.
Is Vince McMahon really that desperate? He's so afraid of AEW, and he's so desperate that the ratings are going down. But he decides to give the World Championship back to a part-time wannabe.
Yeah, it seems to be that case. But on the next night on Raw, Brock Lesnar even had the Universal Championship and pretended that the Universal Championship was a boombox.
Of course, this could just be a 1-month title reign because Brock Lesnar is defending the championship at SummerSlam. But that does it for the Extreme Rules results.
Yes, it does.
We shall quickly run through them again.
Yes.
Shinsuke Nakamura defeated Finn Balor to become Intercontinental Champion.
Drew Gulak retained his Cruiserweight Championship against Tony Nese.
The Undertaker and Roman Reigns defeated Shane McMahon and Drew McIntyre in a no-holds-barred tag team match.
The Revival in Scott Dawson and Zach Warden retained their titles against the Usos of G and J.
Aleister Black defeated Cesaro.
Bayley retained her SmackDown Women's Championship in a handicap match against Alexa Bliss and Nikki Cross.
Braun Strowman defeated Bobby Lashley in a last man standing match.
The New Day became the new SmackDown Tag Team Champions after beating Bryan and Rowan and Heavy Machinery of Otis and Tucker.
AJ Styles became the new United States Champion by defeating Ricochet.
Kevin Owens defeated Dolph Ziggler.
Kofi Kingston retained the WWE Championship over Samoa Joe.
And the man's man, Seth Rollins and Becky Lynch, retained their Universal and Raw Women's titles in a last chance winners takes all Extreme Rules mixed tag team match.
Yeah, and Brock Lesnar cashed in his Money in the Bank contract to become Universal Champion.
So we will be back with you in a few weeks with the biggest party of the summer.
Yes, NXT TakeOver Toronto and SummerSlam.
So until then, he's been
Reese Rock Jones.
and I've been Sean Randy Smith.
We shall see you in just a couple of weeks.
Bye bye.
Later.
And we're done.
Yep.